I'll kick off while everyone's getting a drink, so no worries, take your time. So I'm Camilla, I'm from Cult London, which is a digital communications agency and content studio, literally based probably 500 metres east of here. So do feel free to ever pop in and say hello. We work with a whole variety of clients, so hopefully what I can kind of show to you today will be relevant for you. We're very lucky to work with some very cool fashion clients, but everything through to food, real estate, it kind of goes on and on, which I think is a big point about social, because it really is something that every brand needs now, and it's something that you absolutely need to tap into. This is the brief that we were given this evening and why you're all here, and I think, to be honest, in the next 15 minutes I can't write your digital strategy for you. But hopefully what I can do is give you some intention and some inspiration and some best-in-class examples to get you going. I think a really important thing to keep in mind as well when planning for the year ahead, especially with social media, don't make a year-long plan. You have to be agile, you have to be willing to pivot at any minute to change the current to what the human behavior is telling you. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because who knows, the rules might change tomorrow. If you guys leave today with one thing and one thing only, I want it to be personalization. What is happening now with the way of digital is that the consumers are expecting a completely personal experience. In 2012, which feels many moons ago, I wrote a report on Burberry and what they had stated with their launch of their Facebook channel. At the time, they were absolutely at the peak, and they were launching things like Kisses, some campaigns you guys might know. They made this statement, which was, when somebody is on our Facebook page, it should be just like walking into our store. It should feel as if someone is there to guide you to your purchase decision. It should feel as if you're putting on the codes. This still stands today, and this personalization is what is absolutely pivotal to being successful in digital. I'm going to take you through 4 key components, and luckily some of them do sink into what you've just seen with Cyberduck, but some new ones as well. The first thing is human insight. Now, even though this is digital, there's real people using it. Everything we do has to have a human insight behind it. Now, where we're really lucky as digital marketeers now is there are so many tools available to us, or just the pure use of social media, to understand these insights. There's no guessing this is my audience. You can see this in the back end. You can see exactly who they are, what they're doing, what they're buying, what they like. So an example of this that happened quite currently for us was one of our clients, Rimmel London. And let's call it the Kylie Jenner effect. Women had started speaking online that they were very worried that a matte lipstick wasn't making their lips plump enough, just like our lovely Jenners. So we needed to combat this. We have a beautiful new velvet matte lipstick that we need to sell. So we need to educate these women that don't worry, this lipstick is for everybody, and your lips will look absolutely amazing. So we made a whole bucket of content for this, including a Tumblr, and content ads and videos, so that we could hit women kind of 360 view online. I'll show you the video now, and hopefully what you can see is that we've managed to tap into all different women's of all different lip sizes to bring this to life. It's not only a beautiful piece of content, but it is hitting this human insight. So those women who are served this content, it is relevant to them and is driving them straight down the purchase funnel. So what's our takeaway here from human insight? Promise me one thing and one thing only, is that your strategy this year at every moment is embodied in your human insight. Have it written on the wall, have it on the front of your notepad, have it as your desktop screensaver, but you absolutely must be sure that everything you're doing comes back to this. My next point is shoppable. Now, you might have heard this before, but I'm happy to claim it now. 2017, everything will be shoppable. So whether you are a brand who has a product to sell, or a service, or you're about lead generation, you need to consider how you can be using digital and online to drive these sales. The tools to you that are available through social media now are abundant. Social ads are cost effective, and again, you're right back to the relevancy of your consumer. People using these channels now are going to places like Instagram to find the next look that they want to wear, the next coffee shop they want to go to, the restaurant they want to eat. We're using visual content to guide our purchase journey and what we do in our day-to-day. Following that, if you've done it right and your consumer insight is there, this is absolutely going to lead to an action, which could be buying something, it could be clicking, it could be putting your email in, it could be you guys attending here tonight. So absolutely have a consideration into the content you're putting out to ensure that you're driving to sale. This is another little prediction for me for the year, which Instagram will be the highest grossing social channel for sales. So let's check back in this time next year and see how I went. But with these exciting updates, it is one of those platforms where it has been able to come back fighting with every competitor. With Facebook's purchase of this brand, I have no concerns whatsoever of its longevity, and it will continue to grow and blossom through the year. But consider how your brand can be on Instagram. It's not for every brand, or is it? HSBC recently launched on Instagram, maybe not a beautiful flat lay style brand, but they've done a really beautiful human story, tapping into the insight of what consumers are coming to them for business benefits. Social ads. So, as we might all know now, social media is not free, as we spent many years fighting against, but it is affordable and it is relevant. So what you guys can be doing with your social ads is understanding your different consumers. You might have a male and female. It might be more granular than that. It might be about ages or likes or dislikes or competitor brands. And you can be creating different social ads to reach those audiences. So it's all about this A/B testing. And as I said about having a long-term strategy, be ready to learn from this. Change it. If something's not working, get rid of it. Try something new. Something's working, great, grow it. So always be willing to change your social ads and learn from them. Please do not just post one for a month and come back and to pull your report. So I've got a little fun one to show you that we worked on for Christmas, for Agent Provocateur. Now, they had a very interesting human insight, and it was very much that lingerie is for women. We buy it for us, sorry gents, but that's the truth. And a woman is both naughty and nice. So when she's going for her Christmas shopping, she's not looking for something in particular, but she wants to find something unique to her. So we created this video, which is actually completely reactive, so I do urge you to check it out on Facebook afterwards, where you click to change the story. So on average, we're getting about 13 clicks in a minute and a half, which is pretty exciting to think how much people want to personalize their experience while they're going through your content. How can you let them personalize the experience? So let me show it to you, it's a bit of fun. And if you can imagine every time the scene changes, this is someone changing the scene, so you could have swapped it at any point.
I'm a little Christmas cracker, hanging on a Christmas tree. Just a little Christmas cracker.
Sorry, the colours aren't so clear. But as you can see, when it goes from this lovely sweet pink to this kind of sultrous dark, this is where you are flicking the switch on Facebook to change it through, completely personalising the experience. No single person will view the video the same. different to the John Lewis ad, if anyone's seen it yet this morning.
He had the grandest name that he's ever had. A tiny little girl sent for baby Joe.
What you can also see from this ad is it's actually designed for a woman, not a man. And I saw a lot of women actually just nod there when I said that. And it really is. It is something that is taps into a woman, it is visually pleasing, it is made for her, because that is what their lingerie and their brand is made for. It's made for women to make them feel good. And this is what we wanted to embody in this content, to enable them to help whoever they would like to buy their lingerie for them to buy. So just something to show there. So our key takeaway here is, how can we create a personalized experience to drive sales? How do we let somebody have a unique experience just right for them to drive them to purchase? My next topic here is influencers. So this might be something that people have worked with already this year. People might be actually aspiring influencers, or something that you might have your radar of for the year to come. For those who don't, generally influencers is a brand ambassador. And I think we all had a general thought that it was so Ella screaming to thousands of adoring young teens. But actually, influencers come in all shapes and sizes, and ultimately they are somebody who is posting or talking about your brand in their own personal way and making change. It's driving other consumers to seek out your brand. They're very powerful. They're much more powerful than you are. Which is true if we talk about the real world. If I was to give someone a personal recommendation for a new coffee shop, they'd probably check it out. If the coffee shop said, we do great coffee, we might not have as much success. So not only that, it's coming back up in sales. So influencers is an industry that people are investing in financially in all sort of levels, at entry level all the way to 6 figures. But they're bringing investment in. So I think this is quite strong here to see the return on investment, and it is true because this word of mouth is so powerful, and it's an opportunity for us to have word of mouth in digital. So influencers, what influencers do with personalization, a bit like the video you just watched, is give a completely unique brand experience. A brand experience you could never bring as the brand. So think about that when you need to personalize within your digital strategy for the year. And then my big reveal is that everything is going to change for influencers in 2017. It's not as we know it. It's going to be the end of the celebrity. It's going to be the end of the super tween. We are talking about real people. We are talking about micro and macro influencers. If you were to work with somebody who has under 10,000 followers, their fans are 8 times more likely to take an action than someone over that. And that continues to drop as we get hundreds of thousands and millions. So where these young influencers or old, we're all looking to grow their communities. It's now more chic, let's say, to have a smaller community. And as a brand, you should ideally be looking to your fans first. First and foremost, who is already using your brand, who is already using your service and posting about it. It's a super fan network, and that's what can really drive sales. So what data have you captured already? Do you have email addresses? Could you invite them to trial a product first? Think about the community you have already before reaching out to the wider masses. And I promise you, you'll see a really strong change very quickly. So the takeaway from this is very much use them to build your brand story. Perhaps you might even recreate it. They might tell you something about your brand you don't even know. So be really open to this, be open to their opinion and change, and you could have a very successful new year. My fourth and final one is brand experiences. One of the big key buzzwords we played around with for quite a few years was content is king. Well, I believe that is no longer. It is no longer just about content. It is about a full brand experience. And this comes back to very much what the digital partner team were just talking through. One-to-one messaging. Now, this goes two ways. I'm going to talk to you today about the public version of this. There is also a huge rise in dark sharing. So I'm sure we've all seen an Instagram post and shared it with a friend or screenshotted it and shared with someone. This is huge and something we can't track as of yet. So keep that in your back pocket and remember that this is something, an action you might already be driving. But let's talk about what we can see. One-to-one marketing. Consumers want this personalized experience and they want a single touch point. They want to talk to the creative director of the brand. You know, they want to talk to the stylist. They don't want to talk to this kind of marketing nobody. And this is the demand that is now on us for 2017. So let's talk about bots. I realize we just spoke about it, but I'm going to give you another little side of it, so I'll speed through quickly. But I think the big thing about bots is this entry level is so easy for us now. You know, with apps, we have this huge hurdle to get through for people to download something new. Messenger apps are already in the palm of your hands. I bet we could think that everybody here has probably used WhatsApp in the last 24 hours, or Facebook Messenger. We live and breathe these apps. There's no need for anything more. So let's utilize them. This is just going to play in the background while I speak, but there's been some really exciting developments with bots, and I think we can look at them at entry level where actually it's just a decision tree, where you can take the content you're already making, your beautiful personalized content, and take someone through a new journey. So, for example, when Tommy Hilfiger did their fashion show, I had a great old time chatting to them, asked for their fashion advice, where's the blue jacket, what would Gigi think, and was served with all sorts of content that they already had preloaded. Everything was touch to click. Now this is a really nice way to keep people also in a branded space as long as possible. Some of you might have even tried, there was a great one for the TV show Humans that came out, which was quite scary if you actually ask me, but you can really take this from a level of decision tree all the way to very intelligent computer learning where you can have a one-to-one conversation. So really have a think about this. It is something that will push consumers to buy much quicker, will have them engaging with the brand, and ultimately they're having a unique, personalized experience with your brand. The next one is the rise of live. So the irony that this is being live streamed right now is quite nice. But let's think about this actually. Live is now available on every single social platform. Yes, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp on the way. So this isn't a trend, this is a change. And something we need to be very aware of. You know, live is no longer what it used to be. Live is no longer hanging out, moshing at the front of a big band. It's with your headphones in. More importantly, it's the experience that you want to have. In no means is it just being thrown at you. You can stop, you can pause, you can rewind, you can comment, you can share. You can start building a community. It is a completely personalized experience and nothing like we've ever had before. Brands are already using it rapidly. Now, don't think as live as this big live streaming. I'm saying, have you sent a Snapchat? Have you used Instagram stories? This is happening rapidly and consumers are leaning to it. It's not only brands. So how can you be a little more authentic in your content? It's no longer these big six-figure marketing budgets to get one piece of video content out. It's actually your iPhone there in the moment. And that gives it that personalized experience as well. So have a think about how you might be able to get that kind of on-the-go moment for next year. This one I thought was really fun. Birchbox took the features that were available in Snapchat, did something different. I think we're seeing a lot of the same with live. People are still getting to know it and understanding what to do. But Birchbox actually used the call function on Snapchat, which might surprise a lot of people that they didn't even know it existed. And they just opened up the lines to test. And they had 30 calls from consumers who actually told them lots about their brand. So they got to build a whole new kind of human insights from this to develop their Snapchat strategy. So something really fun. As you can see, not high production value, 2 girls on selfie mode, and really they got to build their entire marketing strategy from this one moment. This is one that we actually did last week, was the reason for no sleep. We did out in New York, and this is actually launching a very large-scale global product, but for the first time to consumers the same time as press, which doesn't get the press that happy, but it gave fans the chance to ask questions about the product, so we could work out, okay, this is the messaging we need to have ongoing. It had a chance for them to connect directly with the global color ambassador, ask her questions, and we just invited them to an intimate chat. You know, what is a multi-million-dollar launch? All of a sudden, you were invited to. And that was really powerful for the brand, and I think has been only given us more and more learnings about our consumer and how they're reacting in live. If any of you have walked around Shoreditch, you might have seen the absolute takeover of Facebook Live going offline to bring everyone online. So this just kind of brings it all back into the investment. You know, they're rapidly, the platforms are really budding together to get all the consumers using it. So as brands, how are we going to be in this space as well? So this is it. This is the learning, is use the tech. Next week there will be more tech. The week after there will be more. Be agile, be ready to personalize with the tools that you have in front of you. Have some fun with it, trial, test, and then see your brand accelerate. Just in a summary of kind of everything we've gone through, you know, you must be embedded in a human insight. You must deliver a personal shopping experience. Influencers give you a chance for a unique brand story, and use tech to create true brand experiences. So I'll leave you with 27, the year it got personal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Hi, I'm not having really a question, it's more like a comment, because I'm a user practitioner and a user experience, and I realized that your presentation and the presentation before, they missing maybe one point in the middle, that is the omni-channel communication, because sometimes, I don't know if you have the problem that you have not enough budget to use all the channels you would like to use, or use all the touch points that a user wants to use. So my recommendation, and also for answering the question over there, is to practitioner with omni-channel journey maps, and try to realize in which points can the user really take this ad and becoming a link that is a user-friendly link, or a message that it can be really friendly and go to the end and make the process or so. So it's just more like a recommendation for,
That's a really great recommendation. I hope everybody wrote that down. Any other questions? Well, my social handle, there is one.
With you talk a lot about the importance of live content. Where does the balance kind of come between the best live content you lose a certain degree of control over? Say you're in an arts organisation, and the best people to provide that live content are actors who are performing in a play or something like that. But that means you lose a certain amount of kind of control, as people found when sort of Twitter first came along. There can be dangers within that. How do you kind of strike balance?
I mean, it's terrifying. Working in live is absolutely terrifying. I can't put it any more bluntly, because you lose all control. You can, of course, handle the tech, handle the script, handle your surroundings, but you have no control over what the community will do. Will they turn up? How will they communicate? Will they troll? And this is the risk we're in. And I think using in particular something as public as Facebook Live, because it has that community there, I think we'll see it change quite rapidly, quite quickly. You know, Facebook are testing as well. You know, when we look at something more like Snapchat or Instagram stories that is more private, you have that control. So if you're worried about that control, perhaps start with those channels. Start with the channels where you're not kind of going to be, I don't want to say the word hijacked, but you're going to have the input much more of those around you. And if you're not quite ready yet, I think it is something that's happening now, but put it in the plan for the new year. Watch what other people are doing, take learnings, test on small scale, and then go big. Because I can assure you we are all finding our feet on this, including the social platforms.
Obviously the theme is digital strategies, and I was just wondering how you would recommend companies to bring their digital strategies into stores, offline.
I mean, it's so exciting when you can bring offline, online. There's lots of ways. I think, you can think of especially social ads. So personalizing the experience by having that served by geotag. So there's lots of ways with ads that when you're in a store environment can pull you into store. If you've got data capture serving people things after they've come to store. There's of course really exciting things you can do with tech in store as well, with installations, and I think user-generated content is a really fun thing to play with, and how you can bring that to life. So it comes to lots of different levels and kind of lots of different budget remits really, but something we definitely work with people like Rimmel, and it's about bringing the synergy from what they're seeing with this beautiful lip library, how do we bring it into like a wobbler on store, and how do they see all of these and connect them together.
Do you have any B2B examples? It's still been very consumer focused, and obviously if you work in a slightly more boring industry, let's say, how do you kind of translate your content into this kind of digital, social, interactive field?
That's a good question. I haven't worked in B2B in a while, but it certainly has a place. And for someone who works in a business, I'm pitched all the time, for different businesses. So again, I think there's some really smart campaigns on LinkedIn about things like that. But it's about understanding more about what the businesses you're going in for and how can you serve something different to them, not just sending a kind of blanket content across the board. But I would love to find you a better example. So my Twitter handle was on there, which is Camilla Mary Rose, because I'd love to come back with an example for you, but I don't have one now.
Okay, is there any more? Okay, well, thank you so much. That was really, really excellent.